successfully.
Yes.
I'm not going to sign this too for me. Your fees have already been paid for by the party at the headquarters. That's why we didn't ask for it here. And then a receipt of nomination. At the end of it all, if there's no objection and no problem with your nominees, then we'll issue you with an acceptance of your nomination. Okay? Congratulations and wish you all the best.
Yeah, just added to what he has said, this is the rules and regulation guiding the campaign. And IEC, we are advocating for peace. So we want to make sure you advise you guys to stick to these principles. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You now have the president.
Could you just step us through your nomination process here before we go in the detail?
Well, my nomination was...
You can face.
Okay. Well, according to the IEC chair, he said that all my papers were in full tact. So, but then they're going to scrutinize them later and then send me a letter of acceptance.
I understand that you are vying for the second time. Yeah. Why are you vying again rather than giving chance to others?
No, you know, in elections you don't select yourself, it's the people that select you. So I served for my 5 years and then my time was ended and then the same people wanted me to serve another 5 years. It's the people that request my service. So that's why I'm continuing for another 5 years.
So do you think that this your second time in office, you will represent them fully more than you have done?
Of course, of course. That's my responsibility to serve them in Parliament, and I've done that in these 5 years. That's why they were asking for another 5 years for me to serve them.
All right. What are you going to do differently when you are re-elected again into office?
Well, my priority is the youth and women.
The youth and the women, yeah. In which sense?
Well, youth employment.
All right. This time around, why are you vying under the NPP?
Well, it is the party I belong to. NPP is the party I belong to. That's why I'm vying for the seat.
Going back to the same question again, you said you want to empower youth.
Yes.
Employment. You've talked about that. How are you going to do that as a National Assembly member?
Well, I live near the ocean, and we all know that when it comes to the sea, the resources in the sea is too much. So we have this sea covered by foreigners. So if we empower the youths to be fishermen, they will gain a lot out of it.
But one bill came at the National Assembly while you were there. It's about the fishing agreement that the Gambia had with the EU. You as a National Assembly member at the time, why did you support that agreement with the EU, knowing that that agreement, Gambia stands to benefit just a little bit?
That's what I'm saying. We signed that agreement because at this right moment we have no resources to explore the sea. So at least if we go into the next 5 years, we are going to push the government for them to invest on that sector so that the youth can benefit from it.
What have you done for your people that you think they will vote for you?
A lot.
Like what?
There are so many routes that was their concern, main concern. And thanks to the government now, they are constructing them.
You said a lot what you mentioned.
Yes. And the other thing is, I have engaged the Minister of Health so that our health centers in Burfoot and Sukuta can be upgraded, because as you can see, Kombo is densely populated, but we have no referral hospital. So we find it very, very much difficult to refer our patients to either Kanifing or Banjul because of the traffic congestion. So this is why I engaged the minister, and the process is soon start next month to upgrade these health centers to the extent that all referrals from the Combos can be done in Sukuta, and even there will be a theater center where there will be an operation.
One of your functions as National Assembly members is to scrutinize government, to keep them in check. Well, if you are re-elected again, there is something in the Gambia that is rampant, that is corruption. Are you going to support the anti-corruption bill?
Obviously. The anti-corruption bill, we are going to support it. We are going to support it, definitely.
And there is also a pending draft constitution before the National Assembly, and you are vying under the ticket of NPT. Do you think that you will push that constitutional, a draft constitution for the best interest of the Gambian people? Because it stands for a test of time. And many people, many governments are in for that. Do you think that you will push that bill?
Thank you very much. As you rightly say, if it is at the best interest of the people,
of course.
If it is at the best interest of the people, obviously we will push it.
But you were there when it was pushed.
When it was?
It was first tabled before the parliament.
Yes, I was there.
Why?
But there were certain irregularities in the draft constitution.
What irregularities?
A lot.
Can you just pinpoint
a lot.
out for us?
One thing is, how to call it again? This.
Yes.
Sorry?
The draft constitution that is pending before the National Assembly. That's what we are talking about.
Yes. The first aspect of this, the draft constitution, we went over it. We came to find out there are certain irregularities. Because number one, an elected president cannot be impeached by only 25 members. That's one advantage. Number two, judges, if they are paid 30,000, even if they go on pension, that 30,000 has to continue. How about the teachers who taught the judges, teachers who taught the president, teachers who taught parliamentarians? So this is why there are certain things we couldn't match with it. That's why we throw it out.
Don't you think that the clauses there in the constitution doesn't favor the president? That's why you rejected it.
No, that's not the case. That's not the case. As I told you before, I am not talking about the president. I'm talking about the people. 25 people cannot just cross the nation's mandate. Only 25 people. About 400 and something voted for somebody. 25 people will just come and take him off. That's not justice.
And what difference will you make if you are voted again?
A lot. I'll be working with my people hand in glove to make sure that Sanimen is one of the best constituencies in this country.
Okay, going back to this section, you said you will empower the youth and the women. You elaborated on how you will empower the youth, but the women, you didn't say anything about it. And in your constituency, women are involved in gardening. So how will you empower those women?
If you could fully listen to my last debate, that I was saying about the women horticultural garden. These women, they get up early in the morning, toil in the gardens, but there is no market for them. All what we need is a market for the women and a preservation center, whereby if you sell your materials, they are not finished, you can keep them there for the next day. But you can see, when they harvest their things, they go to Serekunda, sell them. If they are not finished, the next thing they do is they just dump them out. So where's their labor?
And Will you ensure that the national bill caters for the public facilities in your constituency?
Oh yes.
How?
National bill? Which bill you mean?
The national bill. Will you ensure that it caters for public facilities in your constituency?
Obviously.
How?
Obviously. Because it's for the public.
Yes, and how will you ensure that it caters for those public facilities like the roads, the schools, and the markets, you said?
No, the markets are under the area council.
Okay, how about the schools, the hospitals?
The schools and the roads.
Yeah.
We will. The MP is not responsible of constructing roads and other things. But we advocate, and we make sure that we will advocate for the schools, roads, because road infrastructure is very important. It's one of the most important in communication. When you come to communication, road infrastructure is very much important. So we are going to advocate highly on that.
Correct. Allah knows that the time is up, but finally, what do you have to share with us? What do you have to share with us? The general public and the people you are representing.
Well, the people I am representing, all what I want to tell them is to be patient and know that this Gambia belongs to all of us. No matter what, we might be different in partisan, but at the same time we are all the same. We go to ceremonies together, burials together, do everything together. So when politics comes, we will know that politics comes and goes, but family ties are still there. So I'm advising everybody to know that we are all one Gambia and one people.
Thank you for that.
Assalamu alaikum baringol komi albanji ajibe kanyamin drum fi son TV lem mbali nomination dilala to dron dami yalon to ko candidate ol fele bina kan kelen min boto je sai wolem amba honorable Baba Galle Diallo sane menteren ko onda NPP ticket wala nata ka nominate sai ali yala kumol moyla kabe minukela ning ateketa député oti amurunta sira ngonyinka amurunta adunta bungonyin kon abe do ko min kala la sane menteren moli ali amoyle abolu kono ka fonnen cawlu mako e pour bala koto abolu kono kam sol sembentu ya pour gadino mi ikadoku pour ni fengol bonde namam bang ise imabono damin fo asamo pour ka wafi Baba Galle kuma jama fo le dron bar hansa ndo ala mol fele be findi kan se no ma dronge inyininka itole mun jikki soto Baba Galle la koto drum fele support sol fele ja na anti do fele ndala sa nyininka assalamu alaikum
wa alaikum salam
anti to di ma
ndo mo Aissat Fathiam leti
Fathiam angeje Baba Galle no ma andu ikata moti mi yalon koy dunta khono to pour ka nominer yemuna soute Baba Galle la koto
Baba Galle na honorable olom mi yalon ko sane menteren constituency ntelinga tele tombong ka ken na député for NPP sane menteren constituency fana ni ajandun ta konoto kata ka nominate sane menteren constituency ntelma la ciawu manoti mi yalon ka marta musol la politiko la je
Baba Galle nana keta député otile numba
anene keta député tile ay 5 years ke député bungoto ñine be kala la second time
baraka ari so ale jigo soto ala karo
nga jigo soto je kende ke katu ko sindiri folo molle ke sindi barni aje hameta pour ye sindi fulan jangoto isa lon katu ko jiko le je la karo le yebula minne woleke ni ma woke molbe ko di lelal kati mota manke moti momo italo mi fangoti bari yela mo sindi je minna ni aja ay woke fereti je fo yamurundi je doron
baraka ba ke anti
Please on the table for people to come and see. If there is any objection, we will let you know. If there is no objection, your list is also going to be verified to make sure that you have 300 valid voters who have nominated you. If everything is completed without any objection or any problem with your nominees, we will issue you with an acceptance. Okay? Now, your deposit has already been paid for by your party, so we issue only with 2 documents: the receipt of nomination and the checklist. This, you have a copy, we will have a copy, to say this is what you submitted and this is what we received from you. Right now, we've not yet seen the sample of your photo. So if you go and print, we will not commit it. We need to check and make sure it is correct before you print. The symbol, the same thing. Okay? The party, your picture and the symbol, we need to vet and make sure that it's proper before you can go and print for all the polling stations. Okay? I wish you all the best.
Under 2, by this, IEC, we are advocating for peace. So we want these rules and regulations to be abided by during your campaign, so as to avoid clash between you and the other political, contestants. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Are you guys happy? Okay. Mr.
Mr.
Malandin B. Jaba. Yes. Thank you for your time. Because just take us through a little bit your nomination process before we go into it.
And first I wrote a letter of application to apply to the constituency committee that I want to contest for BRIKAMA South 6. And then later I was issued a form from the party national executive to fill which I did, and it was verified and been accepted. And there they endorsed me as a candidate.
Are you better prepared now to serve your people? Are you prepared?
Yes, indeed, I'm very much prepared because I know my people have hope in me. So that hope, I'm ready to fulfill it without fear or favor whatsoever.
What are some of the main concerns? The main concern that your people are going through, and you want to make sure that all those are met when you are voted in the parliament.
Actually, BRIKAMA South constituency is one of the biggest constituency in the Gambia and the most populated. If not the most populated, but it's one of the most populated constituency in the Gambia. But it has so many issues that need to be addressed. First, there are so many bad roads within BRIKAMA South. And those are very important issues that need to be addressed because when it rains, people find it difficult, to reach to their home. Sometimes they must go in the water or they take a long route to reach their home. So some of these issues have to put it forward to the government and also look for NGOs, support from NGOs and all other philanthropies in order to address some of those situations.
Sir, did you know the main function of the National Assembly?
Yes, their main function is making laws and oversight functions.
Your constituency is very big. Will you ensure a proper decentralization?
Yes, indeed. I am somebody who believes in decentralization, and I always want to act on it as well. I don't only want to believe in it, but I also want to act on it.
So why do you think you are the best candidate out of the rest?
Because I'm a selfless community worker. I have been serving my community for so many years without anything. First I'm the Secretary General of the BRIKAMA Market Committee, and so many issues that affecting most people, the most less privileged, I always stand for them to see that what they want is being met. And I also stand to advocate for anything that is stopping them in order to have their freedom in the market. And the market is a very important issue for me because there are so many important issues that need to be addressed. And definitely, among them is the condition of the sanitation and all sorts. So I'm ready to cooperate with the government in order to help to remedy some of those situations. But my constituency first.
What are some of not on our side? Time is not on our side. They are alerting us. Just in briefly, what do you have to share with us?
Actually, what I want is BRIKAMA South is a big constituency, but the youth are more than anything. So I want to stand by the youth to help them address some of their problems, and also the women, women vendors and those in the gardens too, to support them so that they can meet their wish and aspiration.
Thank you for that.
Welcome, sir.
You mentioned so many things that your constituency have a problem.
Pardon?
How do you intend to solve those
I couldn't get your first words.
I said, you mentioned your constituency having so many problems. How do you intend to support them? How will you do that to solve those problems?
Yeah, anyway, I'm going to the assembly. I'm going to the house, and I'm in the NPP party, and I know that what the president wishes for the country. So I will support that agenda fully, so that some of those problems can be solved.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Honorable Jaju, we've checked through all the documents that you submitted, and we are pleased to inform you that you fulfill all the requirements legally for us to receive your documents. At this stage, we're just receiving it. After this is the public scrutiny, which will happen immediately you get up from the table. We're placing all the papers out there for every candidate. Then your list of nominees will be sent inside for verification to make sure you have 300 valid voters on there. Okay? In the event there is any missing, we will notify you so that you'll bring us the balance. Now, I'm not saying it will happen, but if it does happen, please make sure you ask the people whether they've not already nominated somebody else. Because if it comes, you'll be thrown out again. And we have only 2 days for corrections. That is on Saturday and Sunday. Be careful the ant on your... There's an ant on your... Now, you have only Saturday and Sunday for corrections. Yeah, for corrections. Verifications will be immediate. We're doing that now. So, if by the end of the day we discover that there is anything missing, we will let you know from your nominees. But for the other documents, they're all intact. Okay? So we issue you 2 documents, the receipt and a checklist to state exactly what and what you submitted to us. You have a copy and we will have a copy as well. So in the event we need to reference, that is going to be our reference. That's why I signed and you signed. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Honorable, for this one, I think you are okay with it. I see we are advocating for peace. So we want to make sure you abide by these rules and regulations, and you make sure you support us to monitor it very well. Because at the end of the day, we don't want violence throughout the process. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations. You now have to press for any questions.
Seeking re-election, why?
Why? The question could be very much perfectly answered by my people, because this is the second time representing them. They feel it deemed necessary that I have represented them well to the best of my ability. I have done what is expected of me in the parliament, and I have done what is expected of me to be able to be done in my constituency. So for that being the case, my people have the confidence to get me back to the parliament.
When you were being elected for the first time as the National Assembly member, you run under the UDP ticket. This time, you've completely turned around to be a different person, that is an NPP party. Tell us, how is this going to help you or affect your chances of winning?
It has no impact, no affection to my politics. It's the people that voted candidates into the position. So I have the people of Busumbala constituency behind me. So a party is just a tag. that an identity, but the people concerns that matters. So my people, the people of Busumbala constituency, are with me. So I have no problem of coming with a new tack.
Suppose you're re-elected, what are some of the things that you are going to contribute to change the lives and the livelihood of people of Busumbala constituency?
The question would have been best, what have you done first with them to continue? My job is just to continue the progressive development that I started with my people. The participation as a function of the National Assembly is just to go and participate eminently to the best interest of your people in the parliament. I will continue doing that, to scrutinize government, to support the government in the best interest of my people, and also continue on the projects that I started that are in the interest of my people in my constituency. Because when I was voted in 2017, there are some aspects of areas that have been given to me by my people to go and advocate for them whenever issues arise in the parliament. That's water, electricity, schools, education, youth and sports, women empowerment in the gardens, health, road constructions. So these are some of the things that my people gave me. And then I took it up on myself. I went to the government, I put it to the government, because my job in the parliament is to advise government's programs and policies which will impact the life of my people. I have done that. I got approval, assurance from the government that coming in near future, the main road in my constituency, that is from BRIKAMA to Mandinaring, through Buffalo to Makumbaya, Kubone, Galoya, Kubarko to the airport, will be constructed, which I am able to get that through my participation in the parliament. But notwithstanding, government process are slow. Also, what do I do at my own level? I go to the people to make sure that I get some assistance from them. In the side of women empowerment, I'm able to fence some gardens through the help of some assistance. I dig boreholes. I have 11 communities in my constituencies. Almost I have dig boreholes in all these constituencies to alleviate the suffering of my people in the side of water, because government don't come fast, but it's my duty to put it to government, but also to go and lobby for it. I have done that. I am able to advise and influence government programs until I get 2 health posts or health clinics in my constituency, newly built, and 3 ambulances for my people to ease the communication or the transportation of sick in and outside of the communities to the nearest hospital. I got that. And then sports at my own level. Every year I donate youth with sporting materials for them to be able to do their inheritance. But I also got assurance from the Minister of Youth and Sport that the football field at Busumbala will be fenced, and the football field at New Yundum will be upgraded to a standard where the problem that they used to have during the rainy season will be minimized. So these are some of the things that I have done in my constituency, and my people feel deemed necessary for me to be giving another chance for me to continue. And then in the pipelines, I have that of the Mandinaring football field, and Makumbaya is also given a very big land by the community. I am working on it with the Minister of Youth and Sport to recognize that area behind the airport as a zonal center, so that the youth can also benefit, be able to participate in the first and second, third division tournaments, at that side. So obviously, these are some of the...
In light of your said, do you think that you have really delivered on expectations?
Yes, I think from the people, they will just tell me I didn't owe them. At first, when they were expecting me, or electing me, they just have hope in me, what I will do it. This time, they are telling me, you have owe us, we will pay you back. So that means I will deliver more than what I...
Honorable Sekuba Jaju ti Busumbala constituency, ali ala dia momo ila nafa kol milialon ko ay natala moli kabri ya kenon député bungoto ani ning ayatara murunta je ko de kabe nafa kol milnate ni be mala molle te oton sinadro ngi ni ka mol be kuma dan ta ko mi sotale be min fola babi
su molle kontan biyo kay bimbe da min kay alhamdulillah rabbil alamin kanti ko bimbe kondani no kono je min kete na député de honorable Sekuba Jaju be karte faytu poto joto adu haminta min banko kan ala ba kelala alnin kila horomoto ya rabbi mari banko alma samanya sonna ala ni president Jawra mumi ani president Baro mumi be bimbe sewo lungol la bimuna sewo lumbalate bimuna sewo lumbal bimuna kondani lumbalate kanti ko dum man sake nabe banko kam yalla ko hinante mo se bala fa sota en se hino sota nga bula e firi dibitele wini nga do ko ke banko kan janim jawa tanya to ko take
baraka baka baraka
assalamu alaikum busum bala constituency mbay kontona mbar jeyila bake ani bena kiyaman ba konton mi ngata boa fofo na al député alaji Boubacar Silla busum bala constituency la lolo kilo khara fundre nam lelo so ga bare mi ngata sek ba jaaju dim busum bala constituency ala mo liw sek ba jaaju lo woti jaaju mambure ha ile ngal yene sere yakal jaaju mambure
Mr. Dampa, having gone through your papers, we are pleased to inform you that you fulfilled the legal requirements for us to receive your papers. From this stage, your papers will be on display for the public to come and see, and if there is any objection, we will call you and notify you. Then you have to come and clear whatever objections there are. Your nominees will also be sent in for verification. By the end of today, if we find out that the list of nominees is not up to 300 valid, we will immediately notify you so that you have to go back to your constituency and bring us the balance. Even if it is one, we will call you and you need to bring it. But if you asking that person, you must ask her whether they've not yet nominated somebody else. Because if it comes, it will show in the system and we'll throw it out again. Okay? So take your time, and we will, once we are clear with this, we will call you and say you fulfill all the requirements, and we will issue you with an acceptance. For now, we'll just give you a receipt of your nomination, and then a copy of all the documents that you've submitted. You have a copy, we have a copy. So that's going to be our reference. Okay? So thank you very much.
Just to add to what he's saying, this one is the rules and regulations regarding the campaign. IEC, we are advocating for peace. So we want to make sure, let your campaign team and you yourself abide by this. Thank you.
So the set on the 14th, what time exactly is the?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
All the candidates should be in here.
8 o'clock.
All the candidates.
Okay.
And so we put them according to the different constituencies.
Okay.
And we work on all the itineraries because we should not meet in any place during the campaign. That's the essence of it. Okay, thank you very much and congratulations. Okay,
thank you.
Introduce yourself for the benefit of those who are watching and listening. First, then we start in the program.
Thank you very much. My name is Esa Damfa, candidate for National People's Party, the NPP, for Kombo East constituency, West Coast region.
Mr. Damfa, you are contesting for the Kombo East parliamentary seat. Why do you believe that the people of Kombo East should elect you to represent them in the parliament?
Very valid questions. You know, my constituency, my people, the Kombo East, have been underrepresented for quite a long time. That's what triggered my intention to vie for this position, to remedy their difficulties and problems by fully representing them at the national fora. So I know that I'm the people's choice because I passed through the rigorous process. So I know vividly well that I will be elected come December 4th to mount that position as Kombo East now in the National Assembly.
You said your constituency been represented for quite a long time. What are some of the problems that the constituency are facing, and if elected, what will you do to tackle those issues?
Poor road network, infrastructures, electricity and energy, lack of adequate schools, lack of health facilities, and social amenities, many of the social amenities, and also socio-economic advancement. You know, in development, you have to start from the how people life and livelihood. If people's life and livelihood is not being addressed, any development to concrete it is going to be very difficult. So we're going to foster that kind of projects that we are yearning for to advance the life and livelihoods of our people, women, youths, to make sure they have a better education, to create scholarships, to create gardens, irrigation systems, youth sector, mini stadiums where they can do their sport and sporting activities, and also many other activities that I want to partake when I assume the office.
Okay, sir. Sorry, I'm not done. I want him to tell me how. You've mentioned the problem, but how will you tackle it? It's not been answered.
That's very important. Any development, there should be concern of productivity, how we're going to achieve what we want to achieve. We all know the principal functions of the National Assembly members is principally three functions. That is representation, legislation, and oversight functions. As we all know, many people will say National Assembly members are not attached to a budget to partake their development aspirations. But my argument with them, I differed with them when it comes to my opinions. When you went to a health center, you were sick. You went to a health center or a hospital for treatment, and the doctor is sitting right in front of you. You have to talk, you have to explain your problems to him so that he can prescribe appropriate medicine for you so that you can be healed. But if you went there, you keep silent, you keep quiet, you don't explain to yourself thoroughly, or you under-explain to yourself, then you may risk of two things. Either go home with empty-handed without drug, or you will be given a poor prescription. So I know I can defend my constituency well, and I can engage the authorities who are with budgets to make sure we have our fair share from the cake.
Okay, you've mentioned different areas, but first, what have you been doing for them before?
That's very important. Socially, I've been interacting with them. Politically, I've been interacting with them. Morally, I've been interacting with them. That's why when I wanted to write this position, to vie for this position, it was very tough because the process was transparent. You know, we are 11 in numbers, so we went through a rigorous process. It's not like to handpick. So people do their homework before selecting me, and the selection also committee also comprised all 32 villages reps in that process. So I know they could have been doing their homework well before choosing me to represent them. Okay. So I know that I'm a better footing to represent them.
Can you break that down? What have you done socially, you know?
Yeah, socially we have been cooperating. Like for example, if somebody wants a project like boreholes, like roads or whatever, or school fees or whatever constraint that may have, you don't have the capacity, you don't have the money, but you have the connection. You can just hear from them and do whatever you can do to make sure that their problems are mitigated. So even though it is not been addressed, but the step that you take, somebody can be appreciative of that. So that being the case, and also when it comes to politics, we've been on the ground, enlightening people, standing by their sides, doing whatever we can do to foster the awareness, political awareness, and to mitigate also political tension that we inherited in this country, like hate speeches and all of a sort. So we have been there to guide them, to help them to be in a right footing when it comes to political maturity. So far so good. I have a good rapport with my community.
Yes, Mr. Damfa, of all the things that you've talked about, it's about changing the lives and livelihoods of people. You cannot do that without funding. Where are the funds going to come from?
First, this is a very important question. I will start from my own initiative. When my 6 months in the office, I will establish a trust fund, which I will name Kombo East Development Trust Fund. Charity begins at home. Before you wait for people to come and help you, you have to do something. Of course, yet we have our cake at the National budget. I'm going to fight that one to make sure we have it. But I will start from the little that we have to make sure that we have our trust fund. We do our fundraising both locally and internationally to make sure we don't leave any stone unturned. We make sure we knock all the doors to make sure we have adequate funding, at least to do a quarter of the development, so that when the state have seen the necessary step that I'm taking, coming to my aid or coming to our aid will not be difficult.
But you have a representative for the last 5 years. Do you mean that he has done nothing when he come to office since he was been elected as your representative?
Obviously, I don't want to talk much about him because he expelled himself before even his party expelled him. And if he had been doing it well, today some of the problems that we are facing, we could not have been facing that one. So that question, I think that question answered itself. He expelled himself before his party even comes to expel him. So that shows that he was not there as what was expected of him.
Are you finally one more question? Win, come April 9?
I am really win is already sacrosanct. Is there? We're now working on the margin. How we're going to deprive my opponents from getting their deposits. But the win is already there.
Thank you. Good luck. Good afternoon, Mrs. Sise. Have you succeeded in submitting all the required documents for your nomination?
Yes, exactly. I have done that. What the IEC asked for, that is the requirements that you're supposed to submit to the Independent Electoral Commission. I have fulfilled all the requirements. I have submitted them, and my nomination is accepted by the IEC.
Why do you think among all the candidates contesting for your constituency, you were the best candidate?
Well, in 2017, when I was coming to office, I was not just an ordinary person in the constituency. I've been working with organizations within that part of the country. And I have done well. I mean, that is why the people choose me to contest for National Assembly election and won the election in 2017. Having done that in 2017 to date, I have done a lot of achievement. So coming to 2022, I expect the people in all Indian constituency to know better that the guy who can do the job better is Honorable Abdullah Sisi. So he is the person who is going to be choosing to contest for the seat.
You're seeking for re-election.
Exactly.
During your first term, what are some of the achievements that you brought to your constituents?
A lot of them I can count. I mean, I personally, because when I came in 2017, they asked for water. I have given them 20 boreholes. They asked for scholarships. I have given 60 scholarships to schools-going children. They asked for youth empowerment. I have given jerseys to football teams. They asked for schools. I have, advocated for school, and I have done a lot of other things that in that constituency that you can count. I mean, that is what I have done in the last 4 years. I mean, we are in the 5th year coming for re-election.
Mr. Sise, your opponent, Aliu Nyang, just said here that you only work with those that are from outside Guinea.
Well, this is politics. I mean, as a representative, I think I am representing everybody in that constituency, irrespective of your political affiliation, your tribe, or whatever. I mean, that is an opinion. And I think all the 14 villages in the constituency have felt my presence in their communities. I have done something in those communities. If you go there, you will find them. I mean, probably that is an opinion from a contestant who is contesting me in that constituency. That is not the real thing.
Now, assuming that you win the election, the parliamentary election, what do you want to achieve within the next 5 years?
I have lots of plans as of now. Coming to 2022, perhaps we will continue with the developments that we have started, but we also have new things that we wanted to bring in the constituency. I mean, that is to first establish our constituency development committee that is going to look after the development achievement of our constituency. And then we will concentrate more on the legislative process of the National Assembly. So first we will constitute a development committee, and our priorities will be put on the table. The committee will look at that, and then we will assess and see what we can do for the people, inshallah.
Right. Inshallah. You are now how prepared and confident are you that you will win this election?
My achievement has spoken for itself. I think in that constituency everybody knows what I have done. So contesting on the National People's Party, I think people will re-elect me, inshallah. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Abdullah Sise. be teng min ya lon koy nim ma kam banate nim mo jamanata kana bule la honorable bulo noma say be ni kala durong ay min ke tole walle mun nyaato ta ko kala ko to di ma amiba say sa ko no molie Abdoulaye Cissé lo nyaade
Abdoulaye Cissé malum so be yalla abete ata fana
anana ke tanu alla député tele ay mun nyaato ta ku samana alla ma fa
ay fego bele kije ay ko
isa fel kilim fanyo
ay pompo kije
abaraka ba
se ha
Waalaikum salam.
Itol
man may jaray ba all you know consequence women mobilize APRC.
Ab may ba e mu ne suuti Abdoulaye la ko
Ablaye li ma si xam Ablaye moom lañ taxawal candidate APRC MPP alliance te Ablaye suñ càmmeñ la suñ doom la Ablaye xale boo xam ne xale bu am yaru la te boo gisee Ablaye ñu joxati ko second round bos defoon na posta bam lii mooy second round ñu may ko te gis ne Ablaye ku gore la Ablaye daf ñu liggéeyal all you know constituency te bu nga ndaw yi bu nga jigéen yi moo tax ñu ñëw xaaral ñu mayaat ko bu ñëwoo second round mooy honorable Ablaye Cissé te maa ngi ko wis best naka good luck pour mu win di parliamentary election baax na jërëjëf waay
waaw système ay
fo de ka
maa ngi dëkk
Welingara yow da nga ñëwoon fii tey pour nga nominate Ablaye Cissé yow naka ngay xamee Ablaye Cissé
Ablaye dama bokka moom yaayam ku baax la si man bi ma ñëwee si koñ bi yaayam laa jàpp yaay moo tax Ablaye mu nekk suma càmmeñ so moo tax nag tey bi mu ñëwee nomination ma jàppale ko nekk si gannaaw Ablaye ku baax la te maa ngi koy ñaanal yàlla na ko yàlla may ndam darajay Rasulaay te xam naa yaakaar ne Ablaye ni mu buggee Adama Barrow man it noonu laa buggee Adama Barrow parce que maa ngi Barrow sistas so moo tax nag maa ngi ñaanal rek Ablaye mu am ndam si barke siñ parti bi MPP ak si doole yi ñëpp waaw waxala ndaw si
salaamaaleykum
maaleykum salaam
ay
sa marigo sunju sori ade tenteng Ablaye Cissé fo kontano dorom because Ablaye mu ken dole ngale no ko ni ngalon ni man kala lo folo ngala do ko lege wala tan mbula tan alom na tay mo le respect rek wala tin mo man sia nonte mo nyanta sia ren katu mo jamal le tum koma so mo dan tan ne tombom pour kana Ablaye semben tu yandu ya bar mo mum be all yundu mo wala sia ta mum bi ja kata meta nyin do ko kono le ay do ko mun ke all yundu mi ngajele so wala tin na wakilta kabula no ma ko tenke pour ka semben tu ya Ablaye yatina le jiko bata all yundum ay jiko bonde all yundum le ay badiya sabati nday bo holol loje mu yalon ka siyata ay marché ko bo jay machine ko bonna kayra ban kayra tama Ablaye ma fa wara moti dawda Ablaye bige CCF karambu bige ba pare ay dindi jamale la karambu njolke so wala tin namba noma bi mo kabula mola na fale noma na man do ko ken tabula la noma momu be all yundum wala siyata bi mun na ta ja mo jama nga wala to all yundum ma be Ablaye la ko mbaten tulam ba jeyle mbe duwala fa place o nyim fasita nyato katin du ka jeyi mba ko ma bi mba ko ma sant wiu Ablaye
fula fo Ablaye la ko hey mama assalamualaikum
maaleykum salam
mama to di mado ni tele jumati
ntele mu nyimma sisati olu yundum konsosi la kiyaw manon tere mata sate tannen nanu la olu yundum
mbama ka kumo tariyandi dron bari Ablaye fele nga ja nominata fa banta sa lafte kumo fonye jumale Ablaye ti anin ay munena fasu to olu yundum
Ablaye sisati olu yundum konsosi la dibito ni yaje nga Ablaye Cissé nga tamminni mutat kum fanan nata tamminni ko tanke nga kula sute Ablaye bala Ablaye nyin sanjululo men tammita tenten ay do ko men ken tole olu yunum consensi nyaaya jele hani me yalon ko imantara MPP parti kono inya Ablaye la do ko jele yalon man nin kol ko dale ka balambar sonno mo ka sonne parce que Ablaye Cissé nko yaajele nyinam kejantine mati nka duwale fo ala sabalu oli yunnumu ay bo wolo mesi oli yunnumu atata kanyam bo woli tang anin nana atata kanyam wala fe nyin Ablaye Cissé ñina mun tol buloti ñina mun tol singoti ntol mam moje kambia kono ngani abdoulaye sisele je kambia kono oli yunum konsensi ndu nga tele bulo muta nga sika ngadi adama barola me yalon ko atelen kambia banko la mansa keti nema kambia banko ka adam baro ba fa jiyamati dinka ba ka bel supply ñi abdoulaye sisele ben tol bulo kono wala nyama walantina abdoulaye sisele ta falina mola
baraka ba ke mbaba
Can you sign underneath for me on both papers?
This one is just not obtaining the 1 month or 1 year.
1 year ago.
You take it to PMO, not to your headmaster. Yeah, you take
it to the 3 sites.
No, it's an education. It's not a boarded school. It's not a school that has a board. If it had a board, then it will be the board that appoints and dismisses. But in the central government, all goes to the PMO. Yeah, PMO. Personal Management Office in Banjul. Yeah. But they all know. So once you go, you just go with a letter of request to them, applying for it, and they will give it to you, and they know exactly how it is written. It's 1 year leave of absence without pay.
Manjaro.
Are you an independent candidate?
I am an independent candidate. Ponyi Bandari.
You're seeking for your people to elect you into the parliament.
Yeah.
First of all, I think people would like to know if you first know the function or responsibility of a National Assembly member.
Yeah, of course I know.
Would you like to tell us this?
There are so many responsibilities that the National Assembly member holds. Because you are there to represent your own people from your constituency, and then you need to go down to the people and they know their problems, to come to the National Assembly and either to represent them there and tell them what they need, and then from there, So these are some of the things that someone expects to be there. Because of, as I am talking to you, I am currently the youth leader of the district, and then I have been going in and out of the district, knowing the challenges and the difficulties that my people are facing. So,
will you mind telling us those challenges and how you would like to tackle those issues if elected?
Yeah, there are so many things that I need to put to you guys that there are so many challenges within our district because of proper representative is lacking there. As a youth leader, I've been working with some of the stakeholders, these parliamentarians. I've been working with them, and then if I go to them, some of the youth activities, if they talk to them, the response are always sometimes very negative. And then this is why we put to ourselves as young youths, so let us come out by all means in order to stand for the own district, because we know the problem that we are facing. As I'm talking to you, I'm a teacher, a qualified teacher. Finished my course in the Gambia College, then leave, come back to my own people. I was in Nyomi, live there, come close to my place, but I said no, let me go back to my own district and serve my own younger brothers and sisters in my own community. So for now, 10 good years, I am there serving my own younger brothers and sisters.
I would take that to say that you mean your current MP, is neglecting his responsibility?
No, I cannot say he is neglecting his responsibility. He is doing his responsibility as expected. But anything that you see, there are some certain loopholes in anything that you see. There are some certain loopholes. If you are trying to vie in for a position, those are some of the loopholes that you will always go in through to try to rectify those things.
And you are ready to make a difference?
If I am elected, I am ready to make difference. Big difference for that matter.
Yes, you've submitted your nomination papers. First, can you tell us if your papers are accepted by the
Yeah, right now I am going back to bring 2 documents that are not with me at the moment. That is the absence of leave of absence for 1 year without paid. This is the only documents that I am missing for now. Yeah, effectively, and then the 2 photos. Yeah, it's a mistake because of they told me that what is on the itinerary, the requirement, they told me 1 month leave of absence, that's what is put written there. So it's what I brought in, and then they said that one I should go to the PMO to request for 1 year leave of absence. And then in the requirement document that I am given is 1 month leave of absence. It's what I am looking for. That's what I went for, and then now I came on the table, they told me it's 1 year.
Are you sure that you will win this election? Because there are many contestants in your constituency.
I am 100% sure because I have been working with the youths and they know who I am. A youth, I am doing a voluntary job in my own district and the people appreciate me. They see voluntarily what I can bring for them. If I am elected as a parliamentary member, it will going to be a big difference.
Briefly, can you tell some of the things that you're doing there as the youth leader?
Right now, I can tell you that I am a peace ambassador in my own district, being a district youth chairperson. I am an energetic youth who always bring peace within the youths. Right now, even if you go to these football tournaments, right now if you go to these nighttime tournaments that people played, there are only 8 teams that always registered. But when I came in last year, I make sure that all the district, every village in the district took part in that tournament. And since the onset of Fonyi Bondali, there was no tournament that was sponsored by any other organization or by the government. But this year, I have to work with my chief directly to make sure that we have a sponsor. This is the first year that Fonyi Bondali played a Navitan season and then a knockout season in the district. And then all those things, yes, to my effort.
Mr. Jallo, why do you choose to stand independently and not from other parties?
Yeah, because I feel nowadays, I feel that I can go in for independent because I write applications to other bureaus and then some of my applications are not accepted or due to the reasons best known to them. So I feel that I am also a citizen of the constituency. I have all right to contest to the parliamentary seat. And then I have the love of the people. People choose me and then many people are rallying behind me. So they tell me that hence we don't want to lose you. You can go in for independence and we will fully support you to win this election. This is why
You said a National Assembly member is a representative in the parliament.
Yeah.
If you are elected, how do you tend to go back to your people and talk to them? What means will you do? Because you're there to represent people.
Yeah.
So how are you going to represent them when a bill is tabled? Are you going back to your people to discuss it, or you will single-handedly control it?
Yeah, even if you look at the consequence, every 3 months, a representative, you should go back to your people.
But are you going to do that?
I am going to do that. I am ready to do that because I'm not seeing it. This is what I'm talking to my people. Every 3 months, I should go back to my people, talk to them, tell them what I am having here, what I am seeing here, and what is happening, so that they can also tell me their problems if I come back to the parliament, so that I can tender those problems of my people to the parliament.